This afternoon, the New Orleans coroner identified a 17-year-old who died over the weekend inside the Plaza Tower. Officials say Jacques St. Anne of Belle Chase went inside the long-abandoned building with a group of teenagers from Plaquemines Parish when he fell off a staircase. The death has sparked renewed interest over the safety of the blighted building, as well as focus on the dangers of trespassing in order to explore abandoned properties. And blight has been a longtime concern here in our area, largely due to the impacts of Hurricane Katrina. Recently, we have seen some progress on properties such as the Naval Base on Poland Avenue and Lindy Boggs in Mid-City. But those moves came after years of fighting for improvements. And at the same time, other large properties still sit untouched. This is a topic WWL investigative producer Danny Monteverdi has covered multiple times in the past. Danny, first, I want to ask you, why does it take the city so long?
A couple of reasons. It's a long process to get blight under control. You need the resources and you need the money for it. Those are really the key things. Really, you could boil it down to, if you wanted to say one thing, a lot of it is money, money, and money.
And I understand, too, there's got to be some legal factors in there.
Absolutely. And there's a big hill with the blight fight as well. A couple of years ago when I did a story, there were as many as 25 to 30,000 vacant and blighted properties in the city. When you look at the parcels in the city, it's almost 1 in 5 properties were considered blighted. And you know, the city can't just come in and take property. There is a long legal process. I mean, think about it. If you own a property, it's not against the law to have it vacant. There are rules you have to follow. You've got to keep it secured. You can't have the grass overgrown. You can't have hazards. You've got to preferably have a fence around it. But just because a property is vacant does not mean it's blighted. If, however, it's blighted, the city cannot just come in and take it. There are laws, and there's a long legal process to get through. You've got to go through and find everyone who's got a legal interest in that property. Sometimes, in some cases, that's hard to track down, and that's one of the roadblocks as well.
Now, developers looking at their side of things, I mean, it's got to be expensive, right?
It is. And back in COVID, in the COVID days, that's when a lot of developers who were trying to get big projects in the city here off the ground said, whoa, these costs have just gone through the roof. They said COVID was a big factor. Another issue is a lot of these projects, because they're expensive, developers do try to get public-private partnerships. Sometimes that works, sometimes those projects don't. But the reality is big projects are expensive. So when you think about something like the Plaza Tower or Lindy Boggs, Charity Hospital, the Old Holy Cross School in the Lower Ninth Ward, some of those, as you said, we're seeing work on. Some we're not seeing work on. But think about if you own a house, just how expensive it is sometimes to get basic repairs done. Well, then think of these giant projects and the financing involved. Sometimes it comes through, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the government financing comes through, sometimes it doesn't. And the money, like I said, is a big factor in these projects.
All right, Danny Monteverdi, thanks so much for joining us on the television after a hiatus for a little bit. We appreciate it. All right. You can find his Vacant New Orleans series plus updates and all of today's headlines on our website, social media pages, and our free app for your phone or television.